God bless. Good evening, my cherished viewers and listeners. Glory and honor and adoration unto the living God for how far He has brought us, not by our might, not by our will, and not by our strength, but by the power of God. Your client, John Mensah, aka Abrante the Rock, has met you this evening once again. Your favorite program, dubbed Nimdia Safwa, where I, your client, read out your favorite books that I have written myself. I remember the first one that I read out was Ebusian Nkontonchi in the P version, where the English version is entitled The Family of Doom. That one I'll take my time to read it out so that folks who do not understand or comprehend the P language can also have a feel of the English version to know and get much more education as far as the content of the book is concerned. So once again, thank you for giving me your audience as you always give me. I would entreat you to sit behind and then listen to your nice story that is coming your way. Without further ado, you will log on to YouTube and then you click or you type John Mensah the Rock with a space in between them all, where all my videos will pop up. The reading of my Facebook as well as the artworks, the portraits that I have been drawing. I've been drawing your favorite celebrities, Samuel Jan, Cheiwa, Lewen, all the actors or the actresses, your favorite footballers, your favorite musicians. I am an artist, as I said in the first place. I'm also a musician, and my premiere song will be coming out very soon. Yes, it will be coming out. I'm a composer, I'm a singer, my song will be coming out very soon. So you go to Facebook too, you can type John Mensah, and then there are several people who are called John Mensah, but my distinguishing feature is the book, Capachino, with a monkey at the back or the front part of the book that distinguishes me from other people who are also called John Mensah. So without further ado, we give a synopsis of this book the other time, but I think I have to wrap it up or give another small synopsis before we move on to the main story. Capachino is actually a name of a human being. His real name is Kwaku Boache. Capachino is, let me say, like a nickname. He is the protagonist. The protagonist is the main character of a story. Sorry, I have to explain certain things so that people who do not understand or who do not have a literature background can also absorb, learn something. The main purpose of this program that I do is to entertain, educate, inform, and then bring onto limelight certain things that are not known by various people. So I entreat you to get a copy. You can also log on to johnmensahtherock.blogspot.com. johnmensahtherock.blogspot.com. When open to Google, you log in that. It's going to open a reading version, that's a text form of this book, as well as the various books that I'll be putting there so that you get the chance to read. Without further ado, I'll move on to the story. Now, for the synopsis of the story, each and every human being on this earth should be able to control his sexual desire. We all have sexual urges. It is part of us. We cannot do away with it, but we ought to control. Some people do not control this, and they permit other things that are so preposterous, that are termed as sacrilegious or abomination towards the living God, to prevail their life. Some people can go ahead and then sleep with animals. That is termed as bestiality. It is abomination towards God. Some people can go ahead and then lay with a man with a man, woman with a woman. This is abomination. Now it is written that the way of the eagle is the sky, the way of the snake is the rock, the way of the sheep is the water, and the way of a man is a woman. So aside this, any other practice is diabolic. So what consequences are likely to befall people who engage in these social vices, these sacrilegious and abominable acts that are against God and even humanity? Deuteronomy chapter 27, verses 21, it is written, "Woe betide anyone who commits bestiality with an animal." So this is what the story is about. Yes, consequences that befall people who perpetrate such acts. So without further ado, we move on. This is season 1. I have season 2, 3, 4 of this book, and each season is written in episodes. This one has 6 episodes. Now the first episode is known as that's episode 1 is known as Yentumi's Banishment. I read it out. Your client John Mensah. Yentumi's parents reared livestock, that is sheep and goats. Yentumi used to feed them all the time. One day, when his parents went to farm, no one knows what came over the boy. He committed bestiality with one of the goats. In the afternoon, around 1 p.m., when Nemo and Abroka were passing by, they heard unusual bleating of a goat near Yentumi's house, where the sheep and the goats were kept in their pen. They drew closer to see what was happening. To their utter surprise, Yentumi had loosed his trousers and was seriously having an affair with one of the goats. They screamed, "What are you doing, Yentumi? You are having an affair with an animal?" "Oh my God!" Yentumi pleaded for mercy. He said, "Please keep this as a secret. Do not tell anybody. I do not know what came over me. This is my first time." Nemo said, "No, we cannot keep this to ourselves. This is an abominable act. If we refuse to report the matter, even curses will come upon us." "What do you think, Abroka?" "I support you 100%, said Abroka. "Let us report the matter to the chief. It is said that the elderly who permits children to eat snakes is counted among snake eaters." The 2 young guys mustered courage and proceeded to the palace. They reported the matter to the chief, Nana Danso Abiam. He tasked 2 of his servants to summon Yentumi to the palace. By the time the servants reached Yentumi's house, his parents had returned from farm. They pointed a sword at Yentumi and said, "The chief demands your presence at his palace now." His parents were astonished and asked the servants what the matter was, but they broke no news to them. Yentumi led the servants, whereas his parents followed them to the palace dispassionately. The chief quizzed Yentumi, "Here in the Asempa, we do not entertain such grotesque behavior. Did you actually commit bestiality with the goats?" "Yes, Nana," replied Yentumi, "but I am sorry, I do not know what came over me." The chief continued, "Mr. and Mrs. Incendiary, you have heard from the horse's own mouth. A child who yearns to behold a reddish substance is shown the crimson. Also, if the tortoise seeks after abundance of blood, it is diluted with water. Your son has perpetrated a serious crime, and the law must take its course, as it is no respecter of persons." Yentumi's parents pleaded for mercy, but to no avail. Mr. Incendiary pleaded on Yentumi's behalf by saying, "Forgive my son, great one, for he is only a kid, and he was perhaps oblivious of the consequences of his actions. There is a saying that if your son soils on your lap, you clean it, but you do not slash it off. Please do not do him any harm." The chief paid no heed to Mr. Incendiary's words, but quickly assigned his messenger to inform the public about the incident. The necessary rituals will be performed tomorrow morning to appease the gods, for the land is desecrated. Behavior like this gives rise to famine, premature death, accidents, heavy drought, and the like. I will not allow that," the chief yelled. To prevent Yentumi from escaping, they kept him hostage in the palace overnight. In the morning, the chief summoned the public at the palace. Mr. and Mrs. Incendiary were made to pay money which was used to purchase a ram. They stripped Yentumi naked and made him kneel. 2 executioners held the sheep over his head, whereas another executioner slashed the throat of the ram upon the head of Yentumi. The blood was made to drip down from his head to the entire parts of his body. The people kept silent and wept for the boy, for the poor boy. The main executioner, Opeli, said, "What we are doing to the sheep is exactly what we should be doing to you. Thank God your life is spared." After that, they bound the goat, carried it on their shoulders, and together with some servants and the culprit Yentumi, they headed towards the west. They walked long distance to a lonely and thick forest. There, they abandoned the goat and Yentumi and warned him strongly not to step his feet at their sempa again. Thank you very much for giving me audience. I know you love the story and you want the continuation, but unfortunately, episode 1 has ended here, where we read episode 2 the next time that we meet. I hope you love the story. Thank you so much. I entreat you to subscribe, share, comment. Yes, as we move on. Your client, John Manson. If you want to write a story, but excuse my words, maybe you lack ideas or you are not versed with the pros and cons of writing a story, you can tell me. I can help you out. We negotiate in a very nice way. 02431888843 is my number. 024318888 is my number. Call me and let us do business. For it is good to do business. It is good to make use of the mind. Yes, as well as the hands. That's dexterity. May the good Lord bless you and keep you. Next time, we shall read episode 2 of Capachino, and I hope you will love it. You can log on to johnmensontherock.blogspot.com at Google to read a text form of this book as well as other books that I'll be loading there. You can also log on to YouTube, John Manson The Rock, and then watch all my videos, my artworks, and the like. May the good Lord keep you all the time. Shalom. Peace. Good night.